Hello everyone, my name is Ducky, and today I'll be doing my draft analysis for my team in the USDL, the United Showdown Pokemon, or Draft League, is what it's called. Apologies if I'm a bit nasally. I'm very nasally. I'm pretty sick right now. I got a cold. It's not Corona. I swear it's not Corona. But, yeah, basically we're going to be looking over my draft, why I picked what I picked, and, yeah, why I think this is a good team. So let's get it started off. Mega Gyarados. Now, if you look at the rest of my team, you look at Mega Gyarados, it kind of sticks out a little bit. And originally it was going to be Mega Venusaur. But Mega Venusaur, I actually dropped it. Now, you might think, why would you do that? Why? Well, the thing is that my team has a lot of support. Sylveon with its wish passing and all that. But the way that I designed this team was that I wanted to be able to set up hazards with Chestnut and Lando and Toad, Metagross even. And then I wanted to keep hazards off my own side of the field with Cryo, and just wear him down by making him switch with favorable type advantages, and just wearing him down really is the main strategy. Then coming in with either Mega Gyarados or Gengar, Scarf Gengar, to sweep late game. And that's the whole point of this team. And people have been overlooking that and saying that I should either be more offensive or more defensive. My team has good bulk. It has very good bulk. Mega Gyarados is bulky, Landorus T is bulky, Sylveon is bulky, Mandibuzz is bulky, Metagross is bulky, Seismitoad is bulky, Chestnut is bulky, Cryos is fucking special wall. Like, I don't understand why is everyone sleeping on this team so hard. Yes, I don't have a core, but you don't need a core to be good in draft. That's not something that is 100% required. Side rant over. I picked Mega Venusaur originally, but that turned into Mega Gyarados during the grace period because I needed a more offensively threatening Mega and a better backup if Scarf Gengar fails. My second pick was Seismitoad in Tier 4. Oh my god, I can't believe it, dude. Whoever put this thing in Tier 4, you're insane. You're actually insane. It's a great mon. It can be very versatile, which is something that is very needed in draft. It's not a one-dimensional set. You can bring special attacker if you want. You can bring defensive wall, special defensive wall. You can bring physical attacker, banded with its base 95 attack. It's not a bad mon, and it's not undervalued, or it's super undervalued at tier 4. It's in almost every single league I've been. It's been either tier 3 or tier 2. So my next pick was, I believe my next pick was Sylveon. Sylveon I drafted because I really like its bulk. I needed a fairy type. Plus its wishes are like the fattest in the league, besides like maybe Clefable. It's got some fat wishes that's meant to go into Gengar if it gets damaged while revenge killing, or Mega Gyarados if it gets chipped, or Lando if it gets chipped. So yeah, Sylveon's also it has a little bit of an offensive presence. A little bit's an understatement. It's got a pretty good special attack stat. Its HP means that it can live a lot of attacks, and its ability Pixelate means that it hits like a freight train. So overall, I think Sylveon was a very good fit for this team. It's kind of like the glue that ties it all together. Then I picked I want to say I picked up Lando this round. I couldn't believe it was still on the board in the 4th round. Like, I actually couldn't believe it. I was looking over tier 1s because I hadn't drafted one yet, and I was kind of just going for low tier value, which I think I got in Toad, and I picked up Lando T. Lando T without hidden power is probably, it's a lot more threatening now than it was, just because a lot of, like, you can't just mindlessly slap HP Ice on something now. You have to either bring a dedicated counter to it, or you need to actually think about how to outplay it. It used to be just slap HP Ice on any special attacking mon, and you have a Lando T counter. Now it's a bit more difficult to play around. I like it for its setting rocks. It can be. You can even run like super offensive sets with this team because it'll be able to be supported. You can run Scarf Lando if I wanted to. It's versatile as hell. You can run lefties, even though there is item clause, and there are a lot of really good leftovers users on my team. And then I believe was my next pick. I picked up Mandibuzz. It was either Mandibuzz or Metagross. I'm just gonna say Mandibuzz for simplicity's sake. So Mandibuzz it's the premier defensive pivot. It's such a good pivot, dude. It can just sit there and be a problem. It's dark typing means that it gives me a much needed ghost resist. Actually, not much needed because I have Sylveon, but ghosts are still pretty good against my team, especially with Metagross and Gengar being some of my premier attackers. And Mandibuzz, it's just good. It's just a good solid mon. It's my defogger in case I want to get rid of screens or terrain. It's 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 good. It's really balances my team a little bit, and I feel like it can U-turn on like a passive mod into Mega Gyarados and let me get late game sweeps. Of course, originally it was with Mega Vino, but I think Mega Gyarados was definitely a much better fit for this team. By the way, I was originally going for Mega Charizard X on the grace period, but then I realized it was drafted. If I had Mega Zard X, I would have had. I think my team would have been a lot better with Mega Zard X, personally, than Mega Gyara. But you know, it is what it is. Then let's say I drafted Metagross right there. So Metagross it's really good. Like I've used it in a bunch of different leagues, and it has a couple different roles. It can be like a bulky wall. It can be a physical attacker, which is its main set. It can back when Z moves were a thing, it would be like a premier Z move user, and it actually can hold its own against most fire types. It's very strong. It gave me an ice resist that I definitely needed. Although I will admit that physically attacking ice Pokemon they'll definitely do a number to my team. I won't deny that. They can definitely do a number to my team. And I think that people are recommending drafting a dragon type, which I think would only further my ice weakness. So yeah, Metagross, solid pick, physical attacker that I needed, bulky, good coverage, can learn Stealth Rocks. Actually, wait, let me double check that because I don't use Rocks Metagross if it exists. Yeah, learn Stealth Rocks. Yeah. So yeah, it's a solid mon. I think it's a very good fit. I'm gonna be bringing it a lot probably because it's my ice resist. Yeah. So let's go to my free picks. My first free pick was Gengar. I couldn't believe it was still on the board, dude. It was like I think it was like the 8th or 9th round. I picked it up. I don't know. It was like the 7th or 8th. But basically, Gengar, it's really good for this team because it really ties in kind of like the gimmick, the strategy, which is come in after everything is whittled down by rocks and your attackers that have favorable type coverage. Also, pivots and like Mandibuzz and Lando. And then come in with a scarf and just kill everything. And that's how Mega Gengar has been Mega Gengar. That's how regular Gengar has been played. And that's how it's gonna play on this team. Because it really ties it kind of together. Well, it doesn't really tie it together, but it's kind of like the cornerstone, it's the central mon of the draft. I think that it's kind of like the central pick. I think Lando, T, Mega Gyarados, Sylveon, and Gengar are like the 4 mons that are really, really, really good on this team. Now, my other 3 mons, a lot of people found questionable, which surprised me. Because when you see the gimmick of this team and you see Chestnut, you realize, hey, this guy doesn't have a fight. This guy doesn't have a fighting type. This guy doesn't have a spike setter. This guy, originally I had Venu with Chestnut, and Mega Gyarados kind of got rid of the double grass, which I like. I don't really like drafting repeat types unless they do serve entirely different roles. Like Toad and Lando do different roles. Mega Gyarados and Seismitoad do different roles. Mandibuzz and Lando do different roles. You get the idea. And Chestnut, it's so different from Mega Venu that the typing won't even matter. Like, yeah, flying types would be good, but once you switch in on those two, what else can you switch in on? Absolutely nothing. It's good. It's a good mon. And I think that everyone's just sleeping on it. Because I needed a fighting type and spikes. And it's really, really good at those jobs. More so towards, like, stalling, and then once they're you know, trying to set up, just hitting him with a move and then going right back to spiky shielding or something like that. It's also got, I'm pretty sure it has some recovery. I'm pretty sure it has reliable recovery and synthesis. Don't quote me on that. Alright, next pick, Cryogonal, dude. Cryogonal it's an ice resist. It's a special ice resist, which I needed. I just wish I drafted like a physical ice resist with it. But basically, it's it's really good. I've said that like so many times, but people just sleep on him, dude. They sleep on it, and I have to say that. Cryogonal is a specially defensive wall, one of the premier specially defensive walls that I got for 60 points out of my 400. 60. And I think that's a steal. That is such a steal, in my opinion. Because, like, Cryo, it's a rapid spinner, which I needed. It's an ice type, which I needed. It's an ice resist, which I needed. It's a special wall. It fits so well, and people are questioning the pick. It's whack. It's so whack. It's fast too. I love the mod. It's really good, and I would say that it fit really well in this team, in that it kind of it helps with keeping hazards off my side of the field while maintaining hazards on mine. So like I don't have to defog with Mandibuzz and get rid of my hazards. Instead, I can just rapid spin. Not only get the speed boost, but get rid of the hazards on my side. Because my team's pretty weak to hazards as well, if you look at it. Alright, now the final pick, the most questionable one of them all, Zebstrika. You guys sleep on this mon so hard, dude. It's got like what, base 100 attack, base 110 speed at tier 4, and it's an electric type. I don't understand what all the hate is about. It works. It just works, you know? I can run AV, I can run a bunch of different sets. Its versatility is very limited. I'll give you that. It's definitely very limited, but I think that it works very, very well on this team. And it kind of was like a missing piece that I needed. I definitely needed a fast electric type. And in tier 4, I think Zebstrika was about as good as it got. It was between Zebstrika and I think it was Eel. I don't know. I don't recall. But Zebstrika it's good. You guys sleeping on it. It's not a bad mod. It's frail, but all fast electric types are, pretty much. Every single fast electric type is. There's only Boltund and Zebstrika. I like Zebstrika more, just because the fast electric type. This team doesn't have to be bulky either. You don't know what's coming. Like, I could show up with Scarflando T, I could show up with Gengar, Cryo, Zeb, BD Megagara, and suddenly my team's faster than you. Or I could show up with Metagross, Mandibuzz, Toad, Chestnut, Megagara, Lando T, or Sylveon, and suddenly I'm just walling you. You know, it's a good team. Everyone's just sleeping on it. Its versatility is there. Common type weaknesses. I mean, why would I need a fire type? I have Lando. My team doesn't get decimated by fire types. The ground weakness is invalidated by, you know, all my immunities and all my resist. The only thing I do have is kind of an ice weakness. Which, yeah, I mean, Lando T, Buzz, Seismitoad if you're going with Freeze Dry. Yeah, it's a bit of an ice weakness, but overall, I think that I can definitely play around it better. And I think that people are just sleeping on me, man. They're sleeping. I caught them asleep. Don't worry, when I go 15-2 this season, I'll wake y'all up. No, I'm just messing, but wake up, sheeple. Wake up. Dude, this team is bopping. Like my boys, the Beedrills over here, Team Fat. Shout out to Boy Kipo, by the way. This team is fire. Love Incineroar. Love that pick. But yeah, thank you so very much for watching. Have a good morning, day, or night, wherever you may be. This is Ducky, signing off.